When I was a kid, up until I was around like 3 or 4, I had only really, been around my family members. So going to school was a completely different experience. Like immediately I was immersed in this different culture, and all I wanted to do was be a part of this culture because nobody wants to be different as like a 3 or 4-year-old kid. So that kind of became my life. Like I didn't speak Chinese anymore at home, which really disappointed my parents, but it's just kind of the way it worked out. And it wasn't even until I was maybe 13 or 14 years old that I realized that I had missed out on a big part of my life, this like cultural background that I had completely ignored for the shiny pop culture, sitcom family life that I really, really wanted.
Well, I have known May for about 2 years, and I knew her previous work, and I've always been impressed with her. She's so young, but she's so driven and talented. And again, she has this incredibly time-consuming, labor-intensive process that's really impressive. Her work looks slick and beautiful, but there's also a real story behind it, and this story in particular really resonated with her, and you can tell through the work. It's very personal, but at the same time there's also universal elements too that a lot of people could relate to.
There's a lot of family photographs that I'm going to be using, referencing the personal. One of the pieces is about language and how language barrier has always been a big aspect of my life because my parents, they primarily speak Mandarin, and I was, raised with English as my primary language, so there's always been that physical language barrier. Kids typically say their parents don't understand them. This is actually not understanding.
The dynamic that played out in the studio with May is really about her working process, and Sarah and I were able to visualize and see how she builds her images and the way she works.
May's using layers of these transparencies, and it's tricky to photograph, it's tricky to hang, it's tricky to present. So I think Shannon was helpful to May in that way too.
Our conversations were about solving how they would be framed. They're enormously heavy, and she's very specific how they should be seen, how they want to be seen, and I think she's reached resolve.
It is nice to be able to have the opportunity to work on something that I don't think I would have worked on otherwise. It's a little ambitious, I guess, for me to propose this crazy idea of like working on Mylar while I've never done it before. I've never worked at this scale before, so it's kind of nice to be thrown into that and like exploring new boundaries and stuff like that. So.